Welcome back to the Christian Capitalist Podcast, everybody. I'm Rich Sanders, and so glad to be joined today by Lauren Ewashko, my friend, who's got a terrific charitable event to talk with us about today, as well as generally the subjects of Christianity and capitalism. As you know, we focus here on both topics and like to encourage people to make more and give more. If you're interested in our movement, you can follow us at christiancapitalist.life. And of course, all the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and this episode will be on YouTube. So like, follow, and share wherever you encounter our movement. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Rich.
I'm so glad to see you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, wonderful, walking in grace.
Yeah. Indeed, and survived the cold. We are recording in Destin, Florida this morning, where it has been freezing. And so I'm glad to see your bright and shining face this morning.
Thank you.
So, Lauren, thanks so much for joining us today. We're glad to be able to talk about the Midsummer Night's Dream. We'll get into the details of that later.
Okay.
But, of course, Advanced Sacred Hope Academy and what all of that mission is about. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. You and I met at the Walton Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Courtesy of our friend Gabrielle Hamilton.
Yes.
And had a chance to visit them. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got to Destin here in 2026.
Yes. So I was brought here by the Air Force about 20 years ago, and as much as I had tried to leave after exiting the Air Force, I just stuck around. There's something, my soul loves it here so much.
Oh, that's great.
And yes, so I've been in and out and had lots of adventures in life. And the last few years, I've really shifted into following where God is like leading me and getting very clear on what I want in life. And so there's just been so much between that 20-year mark getting here and then where I'm at right now. It's been such a beautiful journey.
Oh,
truly.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, so we have something in common. I was in the Navy. You were in the Air Force, and my father was in the Air Force. He was in for a total of 26 years.
Oh, wow.
So I know. What did you do in the Air Force?
So I was command and control.
Okay.
And I was actually stationed over here at Hurlburt Field in the headquarters AFSOC. So I had the pleasure of being special operations, 18 years old, living in dorms with combat controllers.
Wow.
And working with the top secret clearance under 4-star generals.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So for those who are not familiar with all of the wonderful acronyms in the military,
yes.
AFSOC is Air Force Special Operations Command.
Yes.
And Hurlburt Field is just 15 minutes, 20 minutes down the road, and is the command of Special Operations in the Air Force and home of the Air Commandos, as they like to say.
Yes.
So you were a tough gal working with some tough people. I love that.
I definitely was right where I was supposed to be.
So how long were you in the Air Force?
I did a few years and then realized that this was just a stepping stone.
Yes, I hear you. I was in the Navy for a little less than 4.
Okay.
And, it feels good to have served. But sometimes people like my dad say, you know what, I'm going to make a career out of this. Others say, you know what, it was a good experience. Now I'm going to build on.
Yes.
So where did you come to Hurlburt from? Where did you grow up?
Mostly Illinois.
Gotcha.
Yes. And then my parents, we moved right after high school to Ohio. So I wasn't ready for college yet. So I decided to join the Marines. And my dad and godfather, who was in the Navy for over 20 years, were like, no, not our baby. So we compromised on the Air Force.
That's great.
Yes.
And so you had, because we have, in this community, we have so many people who have young folks join the Air Force. And everybody starts off with that first step in a boot at Lackland Air Force Base. Did you go to boot camp at Lackland, or did they have a special AFSOC boot camp?
No, I went to Lackland.
Man, that's where my dad started off in 1964 with, I'm sure, very limited air conditioning compared to he was there in the summer. Were you there in the hot months?
No, luckily January through March, like that 6 weeks is all boot camp was then. So
gotcha. That's perfect.
Perfect weather.
So you decide after the Air Force to stay around in Destin.
Yes.
It's a wonderful community, isn't it?
Yes.
And what did you do?
So I've done quite a few things, mostly in the service industry. So I worked in a lot of restaurants and bars. I had the pleasure of working as a professional brand ambassador model, and I was able to travel the world. And
wow.
Yes, I was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much.
That's really cool.
Yes.
So, what's it like to be a model? I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about how all this is our little studio here in our office in Destin is like a photo shoot, but you're like, this is totally peas and carrots compared to what I'm used to. What's it like to be a model?
It was like fun. It was fun. You hung out with a bunch of fun people. Mm-hmm. It was informative. There are so many things, especially when you get up into the world of modeling where you're working with high-end top photographers. Mm-hmm. There is a lot more to modeling than you think. And it requires a deep amount of trust with yourself and being comfortable in front of the camera and around the people you're with. And you're on your toes. So modeling isn't just you take a few poses. It's a continuous action and being fluid with your movements and it's kind of like acting, really. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. It was a great opportunity to travel. I had freedom. That's something I value. So it offered and aligned with a lot of my values. So
isn't that something? And complete opposite to living in a dormitory at Hurlburt.
Oh yeah,
where freedom was, I imagine, measured in hours, and you're off duty.
Yes, that's why I knew it was just a stepping stone.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's really cool. So where did you go? Give us an example of all over the world. What does that mean?
Oh, wow. So I've done Dominican Republic, done some things over Mexico, over Europe area, Asia. Yes.
And, I think I mentioned when we met at the Walton Chamber, there was somebody talking with you as I walked up, and you were explaining that Ewashko is a European name. Is that right?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. So you've had your native land has had a tough time the last few years. Do you have any family back there in the Ukraine?
No. My grandfather, the whole family moved from the USSR because my great grandfather was apparently in the Russian army and was able to get everyone out. So, because they were right on the line where Ukraine and Poland meet. So they migrated to Canada.
Isn't that something?
Yes. So most of my family on that side is in Canada.
In Canada. Mm-hmm. Isn't that wonderful? What a story. So, right, because in those days, the USSR included the countries that are now mostly Eastern Europe, but didn't include Poland. So Ukraine was the USSR in those days.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes. So it's kind of blurry lines on really where we're from, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Did you ever get a chance to talk with your grandfather and know him?
Oh, yes. Great. Oh, very much so. He's 89.
Oh, so he's still alive.
He's kicking strong. Yeah, kicking so strong.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. All right. So when I hear things like I was a model and enjoyed the freedom, and I'm from a family that immigrated from a country that at the time was very much controlled by communism. Has your grandfather ever told you about why he moved? And looking at the theme of our book, and how capitalism is as an economic system so much better for a lot of reasons than communism and socialism. Did he ever talk to you about that?
Well, so yes, he moved for love, but he also was very young when it was my great-grandfather that moved from the area to Canada.
Gotcha.
So he was probably just a toddler when they moved to Canada.
Gotcha.
So he never really knew the Ukraine at all, or that area.
So did he then have any stories to tell about why your great-grandfather moved the whole family?
Not too much. It's very vague, very curious story. Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah, I like that though, because that gives lots of room for interpretation. I think it would be fair for us to conclude that if he's bringing the whole family with him, there was a big reason to go.
Well, I'll say this. He bought land there, or acquired land, and he built everything by hand. So they were farmers, they worked hard, they were self-sufficient. And back then, I think you had to be in many ways. Mm-hmm. But he was very adamant about going and rebuilding an empire on his own.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And so this is your great-grandfather.
Yes.
What did he do in Canada?
He was a farmer.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. I really don't have very many details, honestly. That's all they really ever talked about.
And that's something.
Yeah.
And so then your grandfather grows up in Canada, And how did you get to Illinois, or how did your branch of the family get to Illinois?
Oh, so my grandparents mostly raised my dad in Kentucky. My mother's from South Carolina, and they met in Tennessee at college. And they got married at 19. So they bounced back and forth between Kentucky, and I went to 9 different elementary schools before the 6th grade. And so,
Lauren, that's kind of like my story. I didn't even go, because my dad was career Air Force.
Okay.
I didn't even go to that elementary schools.
It was a lot. Yeah. And a lot. And then two middle schools. So we finally, in 6th grade, January, right in the middle, we moved to Illinois, and we stayed there until I graduated.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
It was lovely. Great place to grow up, truly.
So what do you think, given that background in your family and the freedom that you enjoyed as a model,
yes.
You've been to some places that have very different economic systems than ours.
Yes.
What do you think about that in terms of how capitalism works and people can find freedom in that economy? What do you think about that?
I think it's curious. It's, when you add in all the different elements, right? Culture or background, how people were raised, and just mindset wise, I think how money gets pulled into the economy is really a curious thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not too political, to be honest, but I think, I don't know. That's a tough question.
Absolutely. And by the way, we're not political either. We, meaning the whole Christian capitalist movement. I like to tell people all the time, we are not red or blue. We are green.
Yeah.
Right. So we are here for love and an effort to pursue free enterprise.
Yes.
Right. Which is the essence of what you did as a model. It's fun. Yes. You're making money. You're getting a chance to see the world and hopefully encounter others and spread that love with them.
Yes.
So how along this line, as you're going to all these different schools and then you go to the Air Force and now you're model traveling around, you must be very comfortable moving and moving around.
Anywhere, anytime. I can live out of a backpack. Matter of factly, I did for nearly 5-6 years.
Wow.
And not even like a pack, like a backpacker's pack, a Swiss gear backpack. And that was it.
Unbelievable.
Changed my whole life.
And how so?
Well, every time, because I got to a point where I hit 30 and I was just like, I want to travel. I'm not dating anyone. I'm not having kids. So I think that I should go and travel and do it now. And so that, what was the question again? Sorry.
Living out of a backpack. How did that, you said it changed your life. How did it change your life?
Thank you. So every time I put everything in storage, and when I would come back, I'd go for 6 months, come back, work really hard. And I was living in New Orleans at the time. So down there in the quarter, you can go and work anywhere. And especially if you've got friends, it was just easy to pick up gigs and get, enough funds to support myself to go out for months at a time.
Isn't that something?
I loved it.
So you'd save up and then go travel,
yes.
Come back and save up and then go travel.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
And every time I'd come back, I would clear more out of the storage unit. And it got to a point where I went from having a 3-bedroom apartment to having 1 bedroom and just a couple boxes of things. And I started feeling more clarity. Like my clarity with God I felt more aligned, like I could listen better. Mm-hmm. I felt more quiet. Mm-hmm. All of these universal laws felt put into play, like the law of use, If I'm not using something, that's where giving really came in for me. It's
wow.
Like, I'm not using this thing and it's just sitting here. So for me, it felt energetic kind of density. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I let it go and release it, something felt like it broke free from me.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit. That's some really deep philosophy. I love this. So I have not heard of the law of use. And for those of our audience who have not heard of that before, kind of give us some background about that.
So say you've got something in your closet and it's just sitting there and you think about it, right? It's taking your attention and you're seeing this dress in your closet and it's been there for years and you keep thinking, oh God, I want to wear it. So it activates an energy within you or a thought. And that thought, in some perspectives, can be considered not clutter. I don't like the presupposition in the word clutter, but it's just there, and it's taking up space. Now imagine if you didn't ever think about that dress, and you let that dress go, and you gave that dress away and released it back out into the world, then whatever else that you were wanting maybe on the backside has room to come in. Say you wanted a new dress, and now you've let go of this dress that was taking up that energetic space or those thoughts, and then you let it go.
Isn't that something?
It's a unique. Now I'm not too certified in this, but I know how it worked for me.
Yeah. And
even on an everyday basis, I am so grateful to give, because I receive, and then if I'm not using it for a month, I will give it. It finds a good home, and then there's something that I just trust and faith that like more will come, and so it is.
Well, Lauren, you just hit the nail on the head for one of our big principles here.
Okay.
And that is that there is joy in giving because God made us to give. And one of the reasons we know he made us to give is that we're made in his image. And one of the things we know about God is that he gave us everything. He gave us the earth and the universe and life itself.
Yes.
And so when we give, we're acting as God intended us to. I love the fact that you explained it, though, in such a beautiful way. And especially the part about being grateful to give. Because we were talking about that a little bit, the theme of the book, right? When Paul is writing to Timothy and saying, tell everybody to not put their trust in material goods, but be quick to share and ready to give. Because you're building up a foundation for life that really is life. And I'm doing this because it's up in heaven. So when you give something like that, how do you like to give? Do you give directly to friends? Do you like to give to a charity? How does that work?
It's always a surprise.
Ooh, okay. And how are you guided in this surprise? I love that.
Just by simply breathing. I find every footstep to be divine, and wherever I am at, that is where I have been placed. And sometimes, for instance, if I'm somewhere and I just feel led to do something for someone, I'll give right then and there. It just, I don't know, it comes from the heart. It's just intuition.
Yeah.
I just did it just feels like alignment. It'll feel good. My body will start vibrating and buzzing, and I'll feel like the sun is going to burst through my being.
I love that.
And it really is exceptional. And it's a choice as well. Right? So I choose to give. Therefore, I choose to allow and to trust and to receive and just let God move through me. It's a beautiful testament of faith, truly.
Indeed. And Lauren, I have to tell you something else that you just mentioned. When you give, especially when you give something that you know is important or valuable, there is some trust in that gift.
Yes.
Right? I got to tell you how many times in this podcast, we were episode 54, right? So we've had 53 conversations before today. We, meaning I have had conversations with other folks. Time and time again, someone will say, my wallet was empty except for $1 or $20, something like that. God told me to give it away. And within minutes, I had something come in to replace that. Yes. And it was just this leap of faith in giving.
Yes.
It sounds like you experienced that too with the sun inside you and bursting when you're ready to make a gift.
Yes.
Have you had that happen before where you're like, ooh, I don't know, this is my last, whatever it was?
Yes. Yes. It was a few years ago, and it was a few months after my daughter passed away. Oh. And I decided to go, it was the first glass of wine I'd had. So I decided to go over to a restaurant down the street. And I was sitting there talking and just full of grief, sipping on my wine, having a salad. And as I was leaving, I had a wonderful conversation with the bartender there. And I get out to my car and I feel this pull. And I had nothing to give, seemingly, right? Mm-hmm. I had $200 left to my name. I was going through all this grief, like all the bills at that point were starting to roll in. And it was just a lot. Yeah. It was so much density, dense emotion, just all the things. So, and I was just kind of in it. I wasn't letting it consume me, but I was definitely allowing it to be there.
Yeah.
So I get out to the car and I pop the trunk. It was freezing to put my bag in the back. And I hear this thing go, give her $100. And I looked in my trunk at my wallet and I looked up at the sky and then I looked down at my feet and I was like, I can't give that. I have nothing. This is like, what am I? Okay, fine. Fine.
So you protested, but not too much.
It like, oh, it hurt. But I went in and I did it because my dad, he knows me so well. He's always my whole life. If I'm having a bad day, he's like, go buy someone a gallon of milk. Go and do what you love to do. Like I love going into Starbucks and buying people coffee in line. I just love doing stuff like that. Yeah. It's so fun. So I'm like, fine. So I go in and I take her the $100 and I give it in love. And I've got tears pouring down my face. And I was like, I'm so grateful. This is the first time I've been out. You like blessed my life. And then I left. I didn't like literally see the money. I just put it under the thing. And then three months later, I get a phone call. And there was this coaching course locally called Immersion. And this fellow, Satema Gali, he had a coaching course that I had known about for a few years. I haven't got journal notes, but I don't know what it means, but I met this guy and something's going to happen. And over a few years, I just put little notes. I get a phone call and they say, hey, would you, if you can make it on Monday, mind you, it's Friday, and everyone else had months to prepare. Right. So I had to listen to 20 hours worth of courses and all sorts of stuff a day and a half before the coaching course started. And they're like, can you make it happen? I was like, yes. The answer is yes. Like, this has been coming my way. I've been asking for this. And yes, it comes 5 months right after my daughter passing away, major surgery, almost losing my life. And I'm about to put myself through a gruesome week of coaching and physical training. And yes, guess how much the course cost?
How much?
$10,000.
Whoa.
100-fold. 100-fold for that $100 that if just a few months later it came and it gave it as one of the reasons why I'm here right now.
So they got you into this course and you didn't have to pay anything?
No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And it was right here.
Wow.
So people come from all over for this course right here in my backyard and they gifted it to me.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
So it's a blessing to be a blessing to others.
It comes back. If you're open to receiving,
yes,
and not everyone sees it, right? Because it's where our thoughts at and where's our attention going. Right. So, how do you want to choose to look at things truly? And
being open to the Holy Spirit to guide you. Mm. So what kind of coach then did you become with this course in Immersion? What is it?
Oh God, no coach. I fell apart. It was very intense. It was an intensive course and a deep dive looking into where you're at right now. Mm. Where do you want to go and how do we fill the gap? And then what are the small measurable steps? I've never been a small, measurable kind of person. I'm like, I'm right here. I'm crumbling. I'm below zero. Everything's falling apart. Like I feel embarrassed of my life, but this is where I want to go. Standing on stages next to Tony Robbins. And they're like, okay, but for real. And no. That's what I see. And they're like, okay, come down here a little bit. I'm like, I don't know how.
Right.
What do you mean?
So, I always describe that, Lauren, as eating the elephant one bite at a time. And sometimes you're like, no, I just want the whole trunk. Let's go.
Yeah. And that's the kind of person I am. So, but it gave me the tools to move through things. They had I was like, this is just for most people insanity. We had to carry for one of our activities, they called it Finding Your Holy Cause. We're out at Henderson Beach carrying a 75-pound sandbag, all 20 girls, for 2 hours straight in the middle of the day, and you could not drop it. If you did, you'd start over. And even one of the ladies, God bless her, I love this woman. She was like in her late 60s, 70s.
Whoa.
Now they didn't fill her bag up as much, but Anne was her name. Anne still did it. 40 pounds, 2 hours, trucking it through that sand. And you'd be unbelievable. And the point was, sometimes life is going to give you heavy things to carry.
Mm-hmm.
And you focus on your cause and you keep steady pace, low gear, like training you how to move through low gear and go through each small measurable step. And that showed me how to create small measurable steps.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Right. So you eventually did learn to eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Yes.
Have you been on the stage next to Tony Robbins?
One day. In my mind, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it funny? I have a friend who says you got to visualize to materialize.
Yeah.
And I love that concept because that's pretty much at the core of what we're trying to do here. I can see what we're trying to accomplish, and we're just going to be able to get there.
And feel it.
And
the Bible talks about that. I can't quote the verse for you at the moment, but it does. Like when you feel what you're envisioning and creating, and that is what draws it to you.
Yes.
Right.
Now, at the time when you were going through this coaching training, which sounds honestly just as difficult as boot camp.
It was way more. Way more.
No federal guidelines on safety and red flag days and black flag days and all that, right?
These guys are like linebackers back in the day, and they crushed us.
Unbelievable.
In all the best ways, though, because it was genius to put you through the physical aspect first thing in the morning, to shake the body out, move the nerves, move the blood, get circulation going, and then you're releasing any stuck energy. And then you put us in 3 to 4 hours of physical activity. So now you're dropping the brain waves. The body's relaxed, the mind's relaxed, you're more receptive. And then they go and put you in all these coaching courses and they make it intense so you're vulnerable, and then they support you and hold the container. So they're holding the space for you. And let me tell you, with 20 women, entrepreneurs, business women, always on the go, hitting burnout or at their most full momentum, it requires some strong leaders in the room. Yeah. So it was great.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was.
That's really cool. When you were going through this process, was your holy cause Advanced Sacred Hope Academy?
No.
Where did that come along?
So that came along last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how long ago was the coaching course?
Oh, so that was in 2023.
Okay, so 3 years ago now.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So where is the acronym ASHA, is that how we should refer to it? Advanced Sacred Hope Academy?
Yes. So either one. ASHA is actually a profoundly ancient word, and really it's got a lot of divinity in the meaning, and which is cool.
Yeah.
So Advanced Sacred Hope Academy, you can call us that, but most people locally call us ASHA. So It's a little easier to get all the words.
Gotcha. Exactly. It's a mouthful when you say it all.
Especially in email.
So what led you to ASHA? There are lots of different ways that you could have picked a holy cause.
Soap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for my daughter's baby showers, I made little handmade soaps for the first time. Mm-hmm. And that led me into putting them the next year into a resort. Because one of the guys that got one of those soaps accidentally ate it.
Oh.
And when he opened a gift shop, he said, I want that soap in there. It was awesome. I was like, not delicious though. So
that's hysterical.
It pushed me outside my comfort zone, especially moving through grief. And I started a business. And that business led me into doing a singing competition at that resort that year. And
wow.
Yeah, it was a $25,000 singing competition, and I was a judge. And it helped me get my voice back. Yeah. And because grief for me was it contained me. Yeah. So it helped, and my nervous system got rattled. So it allowed me to work through my nervous system, not instabilities, but it took some healing, I guess you could say.
Sure.
So I was in a safe place. And then I met a fellow that was emceeing. And he said, hey, after it was all said and done, well, come do this charity singing competition with me, be a judge. And that is where I met the owner and founder of Advanced Sacred Hope Academy,
Gotcha.
Julie.
Okay.
So I went and did a tour of the school, thought it was super interesting. And I have no affiliation with, in my family or really friends with children that have disabilities or myself personally. But I was just enamored with the project over there. So I told her that I wanted to come and do a soap making class for the kids.
Oh, okay.
I did that. And a few months later, my life started getting very, very uncomfortable and all of these emotions started rising. And I knew I had a choice of what I was going to do with that. I could either let it eat me alive or I could channel it. So I went to Julie and said, hey, all this stuff is happening. Plus, my 40th birthday is coming up around the corner and I'm kind of freaking out about it a little bit. So I just want to make it not about me and about the community that served me in such a deep and passionate way after Iris was born. And so I got the community involved in putting together this event to serve the children at ASHA. And all these skills, God was moving me. And using all the skills and all the things I'd been learning and allowing myself to receive. I mean, because I didn't want to learn about business or any of that stuff Tony Robbins teaches, but I was doing it anyway. And I'd be sitting there during like, why this sucks so bad. This is so uncomfortable. I don't get any of it. But now, all these things that I was learning were being activated.
Isn't that so cool?
And she said, I see you. And I want to help you meet all your needs. And we want to bring you on. I talked to the board. We're going to create a position for you in the school to help serve us and serve and impact the children.
That's so cool. And so what is your position at the school now?
It is called a community engagement officer is the name they chose. And so that allows me to network in the community, be very active, which is really beautiful to see where God is showing up everywhere. I love the doors that open for that.
Yes, including this.
I know. It's so special. And I think that's what's really serving the foundation so well is, I love ASHA, but I love everyone else too. And it's all about building community.
Right on.
It's so special.
Absolutely.
And fulfilling for me personally.
So now you have this event coming up, right?
The event,
all right, everybody, we're going to put this, we're going to put links to this on our, all our social media and promote it and have a chance to talk about it. But this is a Midsummer's Night Dream charity soiree.
Yes.
On February 7th.
Yes.
Coming up next Saturday.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about if you'd like to hold the flyer, tell us a little bit about the charity soiree.
It's a magical unfolding, truly. This started off with just a few sponsors that jumped on board with open hearts. We had Carrabba's Italian Grill, Kenny D's Seafood, the Fresh Market. The venue opened up space, a local foundation. They donated the venue. And then one of their board members, Tammy McGee, she'd come on and was helping me with decor and tables. And so this theme is Shakespeare themed. And over the last few months, it grew a head. So I was like feeding the head and then it grew a body. And then in the last month, it grew a soul. So now we have Mercedes-Benz as our presenting sponsor in Fort Walton Beach. And then we have like 4 more dealerships on board. We've also got Kelly's Beach Liquors, some good friends of mine. They decided to come on board. JoJo's Bakery. We now have 3 event coordinators helping supply all of the decor.
Oh, great.
So it's Amber Jeter, Tammy, and then Big Day Rentals, a fellow named Tom. So they're coming in and they're going to do all this whimsical decor, and it's going to be a full production. And then Stage Crafters and Fred Astaire are going to provide a dinner show.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And
isn't that something?
A good friend of mine's coming all the way from New Orleans. He's going to be DJing the event. He's internationally renowned. So it's a wonderful affair.
That sounds great.
All of this, though, to impact the playground that we're going to be building at our new school. So the children at our school are children that experience neurological and behavioral differences. So labeled autism. And the inclusive sensory playground is so important for their vitality, for their social lives, for just as they get older as well. This gives them a safe space to really explore and provides them with all the necessary things to protect them.
We had a friend in Atlanta 15 years ago now, thank you.
Yes.
Who had a child with learning differences, and he built her a playground in basically a warehouse, and then turned it into an event space where anybody could come play that playground. So I understand the importance of that for the kids at the school.
Love
it. Let's talk about the school a little bit. How many kids go to school there?
So right now we're teetering around the 70 mark.
Wow, that's a lot.
70, 71. Yeah, we're busting at the seams.
Man.
That's why we're opening the new school. We'll be able to serve 150 children there.
Oh, that's great.
And have like a proper building, because right now we're spread across 3 buildings.
Gotcha. And so because you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, is the new building open?
Not yet.
When do you anticipate it opening?
Well, hopefully by March. It was supposed to be open here in January, but we're still getting everything moved in, and other little details are, they're happening as we go.
Are there, for kids with these kinds of learning differences, are there grades? I mean, do you have like K through 6 kind of grade, or is it more just age based?
Where they're at. So all of our teachers are therapists. So we also are a clinic. So we couple ABA therapy with their education. And not every child is scheduled with a therapist, but it is available to them.
Gotcha.
So most of our children also get their therapy right there in school. So, which has been so interesting to watch how the parents, in order to interact and raise their own children, they'll go out and evolve themselves and become therapists and go to school and get their master's degrees, all to better understand this neurodivergent culture.
You really do have to kind of devote your whole life to a child if you have one with these kinds of conditions.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the event. How can people get tickets?
So we have our Facebook event page, and you can go there. There's a link to our Zephy account, which is a platform used for nonprofits. It helps alleviate all of the extra fees and things that most platforms will put in for events.
Okay.
And it is, it's going to be early, right? We're starting at 4:30 and it will go till 10.
Whoa.
And I was very intentional with that, though.
Okay, tell us about that.
Cocktail hour, because I love to play with the nervous system.
Okay.
And also with the different personalities that show up to this event. So this is actually my first one that I'm like truly putting together by myself.
Awesome.
And coming from this creative center. And so the 4:30 to 5:30 will be the cocktail hour, in which I'm going to give away, instead of having like a silent auction, all of those beautiful in-kinds, I am going to give to our guests. I want them to feel that love we feel when the children give to us when you walk through that door. And that's going to start it off a little elevated. And then 6 o'clock, we will do opening ceremony and Shakespeare style.
Okay.
And it's themed, so you can dress themed to Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, and then you're all white or woodland colors. And then once we open up the buffet with Carrabba's, Fred Astaire will come on with their world champion pros next to a few of their kids. They host a community class for children with disabilities once a week.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so we're going to get to highlight their program there, and then transition into Stagecrafters, who was so excited to bring Shakespeare to Fort Walton.
Absolutely. So they're going to do a scene from the play?
3 scenes.
All right.
Yeah, 3 scenes. It's going to be like a 40-minute dinner show. And then we'll have an auction, a really cool concept that one of our logistics guys, he helps fuel the school, Todd. And so Todd built this cool lighthouse, and we'll auction off little plaques for people to have their name on the plaque and have it there at the school. So we can honor their support there.
Yeah.
And then I'll also have some items to give away with certain sponsorships as well. So, and then we'll have 8:30, the DJ will come on. And if you want to leave, you can. So the show will be, everything will be done at 8:30. And then the rest is just an hour and a half to enjoy libations, to dance, to enjoy the amazing decor.
That's so great.
Yes. I wanted to really bring something, that was, it wasn't just about the, yes, we are raising money. People are going to come and it's going to happen. But I wanted to give back to the community.
Sure. And help everybody enjoy a good time.
And that's why this started. That was my intention. This event was to give back to the community and serve ASHA in the process. So
I love that.
I wanted to stay aligned with that. That felt like God speaking.
That's fantastic. And so the goal is to have then a playground at the new building.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
And
so we'll have links to all of that on all of our social media where people can give or buy tickets to be able to attend the event and give some more. Because that's the whole goal of our movement. The more we make, the more we give.
We would be so grateful.
Oh, I just love that. So, Lauren, as we conclude our time together this morning, one of the key questions that I like to ask folks at the end of the podcast is, what does it mean to you to be a Christian capitalist? And before we sat down and started our interview, you read the message from Paul to Timothy about good works and being quick to share, to build the foundation of life, and mentioned, well, this resonates with me. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we go?
I think what it means for me is that I feel like I'm living to the fullest. Does that work?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's an energy, and it feels expansive, and I really enjoy that frequency. I've felt the other aspects, right? Mm-hmm. Losing a child can really take you into some places that don't feel so comfortable, and they feel very dark and lonely. And when I kind of walk in faith and walk with light coming through, even when it doesn't feel like I have any, and just small measurable steps moving forward and like allowing that light to come through even more, I feel good. I feel grateful and infinitely, like I feel potential, like I can do all things through the Christ within me.
Amen. That's right? Philippians, one of my favorite verse. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes.
I just love that.
Yeah.
And in fact, you and I have only known each other a brief period of time, but that light that you're talking about, I describe as the light of Christ. And when you shine the light of Christ in your heart, other people can see it a mile away. And I'm so glad you were able to join us today and shine the light of Christ to all our guests.
So grateful for this, truly.
It has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Lauren Ewashko, for joining us today on the Christian Capitalist Podcast, where the more we make, the more we give. We'll have all the links to the Midsummer Night's Dream, as well as the ASHA links, so y'all can go donate and make some more and give some more. And of course, you can always follow, and share on this episode. Tell all your friends to listen to the story that Lauren has just told us today, and go likewise to the ASHA website and donate. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Rich Sanders with the Christian Capitalist. And remember, the more we make, the more we give.